Hey, welcome back to the Experience Share. My name is Blake, and today we're diving into match 3 of my first round of the Sorcery Contested Realm League. So far, we are tied up 1-1 going into our Game 3 battle here against Yup, playing his 4-color, mainly water, Elementalist control deck, going against 4-color Deathspeaker. And before we get into the gameplay, I know you're out there, I see you. You are not subscribed right now. You, along with 70% of the other people that are watching this channel, only 30% of you are subscribed. Hit that red subscribe button. Now let's get into the video. Alright, taking a look at our opening hand. All we have, earth, air, and fire. We are missing water. So probably going to put one of these towers back. You're going to have to let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite tower art? If you had all three in your hand, which one are you going to mulligan? Alright, and seeing Drought here in the opening hand, really awesome card to be able to see. We're going to need another Fire Threshold, and we don't have a ton of draw in our hand right now, but we are on the draw, and so hopefully that'll help give us the sights and the cards that we need. Land Surveyor off the top, just what we ordered here to go ahead and give us the best route possible to being able to get all the threshold that we need. Okay, and Land Surveyor, do we get fire? We sure do. So excited to see that second step that's going to enable us to play the Drought. Drought's going to turn off all of the water thresholds from our opponents. And we're at 4. We go ahead and get in for 1 Land Surveyor and pass the turn. Gnome Hollows here, it's fine. We just need to pay attention. We cannot cast our own Ruler of Thule on Gnome Hollows. We have some Submerged Frogs here. One thing about the Submerged Frogs here that come out of the site, those have to be submerged, where the one mana, 3 threshold, summon 7 frogs. Those can be above or below. Does not matter there. But for this tadpole pool, it does have to be submerged. And Drought here going to, I feel bad for these little froggies. It is I'm from Texas, and so that's a frog baking out on a hot Texas day. It's no longer submerged anymore, and we'll go to the discard pile. And we have turned off basically all the water threshold from our opponent right now. They have one from the Elementalist still. Trying to decide if they want to play the orb or not. They do go ahead and lay it down. So we go up to 6 mana thanks to the Gothic Tower. Draw 3 cards. Attack for 2. And what I'm hoping for is to be able to move my Grandmaster Wizard up, and then be able to actually use and cast spells from my Grandmaster Wizard, who will then be able to use the orb. And so you'll see me reading over it a couple of times just to make sure that's exactly how it works. Looking to see what my options are here. I could move up, but want to continue to maintain some of the card advantage pressure that I'm able to maintain. So we're going to use the Land Surveyor trigger to draw an extra site. Step is a welcomed addition. Still looking for some water sites that we can cast. I did want to go ahead and put a backup here in the Apprentice Wizard. And what you'll notice is I'll play them on separate sites. And so that'll enable me to, or prevent him from being able to Earthquake, or well, I guess Earthquake would get him, but maybe Cave In, something along those lines. I could kill, or 2 for 1, both of my minions. Opponent casting their own Land Surveyor will help us draw hopefully more sites later on. Amethyst Core off the top. Always feels good to draw one of those. They're basically mana neutral for the turn, then give you +1 going forward. We use Violent to go ahead, get rid of that Land Surveyor. There haven't been a ton of great reasons or triggers to use Land Surveyor for. Right now, I'm doing my best to try to keep it a secret that I can cast spells and have it trigger off of the orb. Another Land Surveyor coming down. We finally hit the floodplain, unlocking all of our water thresholds. Go ahead and play our Amethyst Core and pass. Okay, so feeling good about the board state, the board presence that we have right now. There's not a ton of water that can be used to be able to gain water with a Font of Life, so feel pretty good about that. We still need to be aware that Disenchant is a card that could be played at any point to get rid of that drought. And if that was the case, being able to double gain life, putting him back to 20, that'd be tough. But he's able to use a double berry, get rid of both the Violimp and the Land Surveyor. He decides he wants to go ahead and keep the Land Surveyor and go ahead and put the Apprentice Wizard in the graveyard instead. Fine by me. I already have a sight in hand, so then I'll be able to draw a spell with my Apprentice Wizard. So that'll work out in my favor. I'm looking for our opponent to just play multiple threats, because then I'll be able to cast Chaos Twister twice. Now, one thing you'll see is that I put that tower kind of aggressive in my opponent's position here, and that's because I wanted to be able to summon a spellcaster near that orb if possible. Our opponent's using Common Sense to go get a Land Surveyor, having an extra blocker. We get our own Common Sense as well. And this is where we go ahead, activate the orb. So we're going to double Common Sense to get 2 cards. Search your deck for 2 common cards. Pretty good. Grabbing a Firebolt and Apprentice Wizard. So if they remove my Grandmaster Wizard with an attack, or with, I'll be able to block it. I really wish I would have played that Apprentice Wizard over where that Land Surveyor is. That's a much better location, I think. I don't know if it's going to matter too much. I'm about to play Dispel to get rid of the Philosopher's Stone when I realize, oh, that'll get rid of my drought. Let's not do that right now. Cast the Apprentice Wizard, have the backup drought in hand. We'll have to see if that comes into handy, or not. So card advantage wise, we're definitely looking better on that front. These are no longer water sites, so our earthquakes, our berries, and all that is still turned on, but our opponent's building up a little puddle of water now. We got 2 sites next to each other that are water sites, but if he does cast Font of Life, that will gain him 4 life still. He's only at 14. I doubt he feels the pressure or the need to be able to do that now. Opponent copying us a little bit, pulling off the double Common Sense of their own. Grabbing a Riptide and Dispel. So Dispel targeting that site, so that lets them keep their Philosopher's Stone. Then our opponent casting a Riptide, pulling us in closer and attacking us with the Land Surveyor. Alright, Flood coming down, giving us the water threshold that we need for the remainder of the game. Makes the biggest body of water that we have on the map now. Gosh, what is... We're at 2, 8, 9. That's the body of water right now. I don't have much of a way to be able to get rid of Flood. Could dispel it, but we're going to cast Firebolt, hitting him for 3, and then shooting another Firebolt from the orb, killing the Land Surveyor, dealing 2 more to our opponent. Okay. Guess the spell on the Flood's okay there. I guess my thoughts are we're getting close to being able to finish out this game, and if our opponent does a Font of Life there, it's going to gain so much life. We have the back-breaking double drought going against the water deck here. And with that, we go ahead and pass the turn. And so right now, what we're looking is at Summoning Sphere would be great. And we could drop down to Summoning Sphere, go ahead and put our opponent down to Death's Door. We'd love to see that. We'd also, okay, double Lightning Bolt into Atlantean Fate. And Atlantean Fate is going to make me wish I would have saved the hate this spell because that is going to mess up my threshold. And if you can't tell, I have 0 fire threshold now. And that's going to be a bit of a problem. We finally get the summoning sphere. That's right. And I forgot that the cores are buried on that too. So I was looking down, I'm like, oh, I should be able to just finish this with an earth sight. And yeah, really need an earth sight at some point. So we were praying, drawing for an earth sight here. We get a ruins, air fire. That is not quite going to do it, but I did not want our opponent to be able to play that extra space. And so we have, 3 air, 1 fire, 1 earth. So at least now we can cast our summoning sphere, but we still need a way to cast this Ravenous Titan to be able to finalize and finish up the game. So right now, we are looking for anything that makes an earth threshold. I don't have anything with Submerge in this deck to be able to pick up the core, raise it to the surface. Opponent plays out a pirate ship, immobiled, out in the desert. And he passes turn. And then I get a color out of space. But guess what? There is no place where I can play it and get the threshold that I need. And because if I played it in that number 1 spot, that corner over there, it would lose all of its abilities, not provide any sort of threshold. So an interesting play could be Chaos Twister the pirate ship into a lightning bolt. So let's cast a Chaos Twister targeting the Elementalist 1 step backward so it lands on the site that it's currently on. No damage to the avatar, not put on death's door. Atlantean Fate really hurting me here. Our opponent has a land surveyor, so we can go ahead and cast theirs. We are just digging for that earth site. We're going to be digging as hard as we can. Good news is, at least water threshold is not an issue for the remainder of the game. And so right now, being at 20, I feel relatively safe. Our opponent could still gain 8 at any point with, I guess it's 8, 9, 10. Yeah, then gain 10 with a Font of Life at any point now. So they play a manuscript. Get a Sisters of Silence. That is not going to be what he was looking for here. But then, coming in clutch with the Pillar of Xeros. Gonna take so many resources out and away from me here. And gain so much life. Playing the Sisters of Silence on top of the Elementalist prevents me from being able to cast the Spellcaster and be able to cast the spell from there because it would lose that ability. And so I'm trying to think through, okay, what is the best way for me to get rid and take care of the Sister of Silence? Go ahead and make the executive decision here that Infiltrate will probably be the best thing. And the reason why I can't use Play Down a Site, then use Summoning Sphere is because Sister of Silence turns off the Genesis effect of my Titan. Titan is putting in some, or the second Sister of Silence putting in some work over there. Opponent plays down a Highland Princess, and I have to prevent them from being able to draw a card off of that. So they'll be able to gain a core here, but then I'm going to start following it over with the Sister of Silence to prevent them from being able to tap to be able to draw an extra card. The Fey Changeling is tempting to be able to bounce something back through its hand, but I do want to go ahead and be able to drop this Summoning Sphere Titan, but Sister is still nearby, and that would turn off the effect. Alright, so we finally have all of the threshold that we need. Just the one fire threshold in this deck is all that we're going to be needing. And then we just go ahead, pass turn with a full 10 mana. No, we're just looking for answers, ways to be able to bring them to death's door. Because 7 damage or 6 damage is not going to be enough. Font of Life, though, bringing them up. Opponent deciding if they want to grapple shot. But you are no longer able to grapple shot into a stealthed unit. Projectiles now move, or stealth units dodge projectile attacks. Elementalist looking what to do, and they go ahead and make the decision to draw a sight. Who knows? Maybe there's a way to blow up sight to one of our decks. Okay, common sense off the top here. Just going to continue to follow the Apprentice Wizard. Now is the time we can go Summoning Sphere, Titan, hit for 6. Common sense. I don't know what we're going to need here. It's probably just some sort of answer. That was mainly, I would say, a mana efficiency play. So I don't hate taking a berry. The issue is there's not a ton of Earth Sights here. Even with the drought, maybe there's some, so it would be okay. But I could see Firebolts. Yeah, Apprentice Wizard being really good cards because we can play them nearby. And they also get the double Spellcaster effect. This is when I realized I need to start walking my Deathspeaker towards my opponent because they're going to drop a Craterize on me at some point if I don't hurry. But the faster I move over here, the faster I put them on death's door, the less likely I am to be hit by Giant Craterize. Trying to think through what's going to be their best play here. Draws a spell. And now it's just a game. How do we finish? How do we close? Gained so much life this game so far from the Pillar and from the Font of Life. Banished so many minions here. Nothing with Genesis abilities in the graveyard. So when we find out that the Highland Princess was hiding all the graveyards under her. So still needing a way to be able to close out this game. The Sister of Silence is going to be following this princess everywhere they go. But this orb getting so much value for our opponent, enabling them to be able to search for 2 cards a turn here. That's huge. And this is really the point in the match where the game's getting close. Yup is a bit on the back foot here. We've already completed games 1 and games 2, so this is for it all. The best of 1 to show who's going to take round 1 of the Sorcery League. Alright, Disenchant. And what's going to be the other option here? I don't have any artifacts that are useful, but he will be able to use it to get rid of the drought, and that'll definitely be a positive beneficial effect. And with the second common sense, just trying to deck thin here, gets common sense number 2. Like the strategy here, you got to min-max. Opponent decides to run over by the sister, takes it back. Plays Common Sense Part 2 for a drown, and now that the drought is gone, Ravenous Titan can go ahead and be drowned. Now we need to be able to try to hit for 13 here. That's quite a bit of damage. It's gonna be tough. but let's see what we can try to stitch together to potentially be able to get rid of it. Alright, so our opponent makes a decision rather than playing Drown, is going to play the Submerge card that gets rid of both the Orb and my Titan, making it that much harder for me to be able to close out the game because I am not going to get the double effect off of my Apprentice Wizard. Ruler of Thule off the top, though, that might be able to apply enough pressure. So we play 3 Apprentice Wizard, draw a card. Alright, Common Sense. Okay, going for the Ruler of Thule. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hit for 3, turn up the heat, turn up the pressure, with the goal of being mana efficient using the Common Sense. And we go ahead and make the decision to get the Firebolts. Firebolt going to be critical in helping us be able to finish off the game as we continue to move closer and closer to that Pathfinder. The Summoning Sphere was already dispelled. I did not finish the game with it, and so now there is no more Summoning Spheres left in my deck. But we're about to hit in for some decent damage here. Opponent, good play, is able to grapple shot to move and then pop the book, grabs, oh no, a Land Surveyor. But at least that Land Surveyor is a blocker for our opponent here. All right, our opponent's at 10. Is there a line that enables us to be able to win the game here? I am not sure yet, but we are going to be able to pick up the manuscript so our opponent is unable to attack for 2 thanks to the Ruler of Thule. Alright, then we play Chaos Twister to get rid of the Land Surveyor, potentially. Just try to put it in the middle of the field, and it is on target. Hits the step. Wanted to prevent it from being able to hit me. Shoots over a Firebolt, and then attacks the Avatar directly to go ahead and put them at Death's Door. At this point now, the water sites matter a little bit less. It still matters for our opponent and some of their combos, but it doesn't really impact us at all. Alright, and drowned. Our opponent's combos and drowned. And now opponent playing Grandmaster Wizard for a blocker. We just need a way to get rid of that. Like, I don't know, a Fade Changeling, a Lightning Bolt. We have options here. Land Surveyor coming down. Where are they wanting to put it? Okay. So they have blockers, looking to be able to find a way to finish off the game. Do they pass? We do have the Lightning Bolt. They've seen Fire Bolt. They play a Dapperville Vampire, trying to figure out exactly which site does it belong to. Earthquake, not going to help me too much here. Neither's Common Sense. So we're going to Lightning Bolt. And yep, that's going to go ahead and hit the Elementalist for the final death blow. Thank you all so much for watching this amazing, incredible series that we had here with Yup. Stay tuned for more sorcery content and be on the lookout for match 2 of the Sorcery League. Thank you for watching. My name's Blake. I hope you have a good day. Take care.